What is a fact that could possibly save your life? If you encounter a mountain lion, do not turn your back on it. Walk backwards. Cats are ambush predators. They don't want to fight you head on and will wait for you to turn around to attack. In a crisis situation, people run from the door they came from. When the shooter walks into a restaurant, run for the kitchen. There's always an exit through the kitchen, and very few people will think to run there. Plus, if you're not armed, a kitchen is full of killer cutlery to defend yourself with. If someone is trying to abduct you, and fighting back or yelling for help doesn't work, then pretend to faint, or vomit on them. If those tactics don't work, then take the chance of getting stabbed or shot to escape. Once you get in the vehicle with the abductor, your odds of surviving are less than if just injured in public. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. If you are ever caught in an avalanche and buried under the snow, spit. Gravity will tell you which way is up. Rare footage of extinct animals. Number 3. The thylacine. What you're seeing is the very last thylacine to ever exist. Farmers gave bounties to everyone shot and killed, leading to their numbers to dwindle. This thylacine died in captivity in 1936, and though others have come forward with spotty footage, no real proof has been shown that these still exist. Number 2. Lonesome George. Widely known as the last Pinta Island tortoise. He was found in 1971 and immediately taken into captivity, as he was already the last of his kind. Though he lived over 100 years, his inevitable demise came sooner than later. His cells were then kept in a lab, and hopefully one day will be used to bring back the species from extinction. Number 1. The black rhino. None were found in the wild for more than 5 years before people announced their extinction in 2011. They were ran to extinction due to excessive poaching. Their horns were cut off and sold in the black market. Either way, it's highly unlikely we will ever see these animals again. The truth about the T-Rex. Most modern day research is far ahead of things that have been taught and are recently still being taught in school. As most of you probably know, the chicken is surprisingly the animal most closely related to the T-Rex. So why is one scaly and the other one covered in feathers? Well, in the past 5 years, most all archaeologists have agreed many dinosaurs were most likely covered in feathers. Their feather coverage would be a lot like ostriches, loads of feathers on the main body and less coverage on the necks, legs, and tails. The first skin of a T-Rex found was a small patch the size of a penny. There were scales and no sign of feathers, and thus the T-Rex was declared featherless. When in reality, new findings have shown the T-Rex to look more accurately depicted like this, and this. So yeah, even Jurassic Park got it wrong. Also, the T-Rex doesn't sound like this. Just putting that out there. The Wild Girl. November 4th, 1970. Los Angeles Child Services discovered an unusual case of child neglect. At 13 years of age, Suzanne had the demeanor and appearance of a 6-year-old girl. When the authorities began investigating, Suzanne's parents, Irene and Clark, had 2 deceased children they never accounted for. The third kid lived with Clark's mother, and Suzanne, also known as Jean, was the unlucky one to live with her parents. Despite her age, she was unable to speak, feed herself, or even use a toilet. She weighed less than 60 pounds. She was kept in cramped spaces for most of the time, which led her to walk in an unusual way. After the Child Services finally rescued Jean, psychologists devoted themselves to this girl's recovery. She was then known as a feral child. Her isolation stunted her cognitive and behavioral abilities. She never developed the ability to communicate with language, although her behavior and social skills improved with years of reinforcement therapy. She's still living today. Private investigators were hired. They described her as now living happy and well. Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Top 3 most painful torture methods. Number 3. Trampling. In Southeast Asia, elephants were trained to stomp in circles over top prisoners, squishing their bodies and eventually their head. 9,000 pounds of elephant foot to the face is enough to pop it like a grape. Number 2. Ling Chi. More commonly known as death by 1,000 cuts. The victim was tied down and body parts were lopped off, one at a time, so accurately the victim was usually still screaming and squirming in pain while the executioners ripped out their heart. Number 1. Gridiron. Simply put, they were strapped down to a human grill. They were said to be covered in oil to ensure the entire body would cook. A fire would be set beneath them, and they would be in total agony anywhere from 1 to 13 minutes. Top 3 eerie photos most people have never seen. Number 3. This is the only known photo of one of Jack the Ripper's victims, taken while still alive. Here is Annie Chapman and her husband John. Photo was from 1869, around the time of their marriage. Annie became the legendary killer's victim 19 years later. Number 2. Here is a surveillance image from a car wash, showing an 11-year-old Carly Brucia, who was walking home from a friend's house. At this moment, Joseph Smith simply just grabbed her by the arm and led her away. 4 days later, Carly's body was found in a church parking lot, dead. Smith was later sentenced to death for her murder. Number 1. Astrid, Agnes, and Alfred, and their sister Alma, who's taking this photo, were at their hotel in Sri Lanka in April 2019. 3 days later, Alma, Agnes, and Alfred, and over 250 other people were killed in the Easter Sunday bombings. Astrid somehow survived. Top 5 scary facts to keep you up at night. Number 5. You have the highest chance of being murdered by someone you know rather than a stranger. Number 4. Pill bugs / roly-polies aren't actually bugs. They're technically crustaceans, like tiny land lobsters. Number 3. There's estimated to be around 25 to 50 serial killers active at all times in the United States. Number 2. As you die, your last sense to go was actually your hearing, so luckily you'll be able to hear yourself die. Number 1. People who get less than 6 hours sleep at night have an increased chance to die prematurely, and in rare cases, people have been known to die just from insomnia alone. Do what you will with those facts. Goodbye. Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Top 3 close calls with death. Number 3. A young man minding his own business has no time to think when concrete falls from the roof. Without his super quick reaction, he would have surely been squished like a bug. Number 2. While on an African safari ride, the driver gets too close for comfort to an elephant, and a chase ensues. Luckily, moments after the video stops, the elephant gets tired and stops its chase. Number 1. A jet pilot knows well in advance his landing gear has malfunctioned. While going in for the landing, he lowers it as slow and low as possible. But the jet still catches fire from sparks flying everywhere. Somehow, when all was said and done, nobody was even hurt, and the worst was just a pretty big insurance claim. Sleep paralysis. Imagine going to bed like normal. You sleep fine for a few hours, maybe even have a slight dream, but you wake up for some reason. You think, I need to be up in a few hours, but I really have to pee. And finally, after a few moments of deliberation, you decide to get up. But wait, that's weird. You just said you'd get up, but nothing happened. You try again, and you realize your brain isn't communicating with your limbs. You want to move, but an impending doom rushes over your body. What is that? An alien? A ghost? I could just move. Wait, why is it getting so hard to breathe? That was really weird.